Hey, what's up guys? So today I wanted to give you a full review of my camera bag. I did a lot of research before ordering this bag to find the best bag for my needs for landscape photography, which is a little different than what you might need for sort of urban photography. I wanted something that could carry my camera and all of my outdoor gear. And what I decided on was this Lowepro Flipside Trick 350 AW. So before I get started, I'm just going to say that this video is not sponsored in any way. I just wanted to make this video to help you guys out, to support a product that I really like. I do have an affiliate link in my description so you can order this bag and I'll get a slight commission if you do that. But obviously you're under no obligation to do that. I think that you should get a bag that fits your needs. This just happens to be the one that I really like. Now, I will say I am kind of a bag nerd. I have like a dozen bags sitting on a shelf in my house right now because I just really like to have whatever sort of bag really fits my needs for the particular thing that I'm doing. And so this is actually my second bag from Lowepro. About a year ago I ordered their Urbex backpack for carrying stuff back and forth to work with me, and I've been really happy with that. And so when I was looking for a camera bag, I thought, well, that was, a very specific bag design that I got from them for that. Maybe they have something that would work well for my camera as well. Now, there's a few things that I wanted in a camera bag. First off, I wanted it to be able to carry my camera, to be able to carry my 3 lenses. Next thing is I wanted it to be able to carry a water bottle. When I'm coming out and doing landscape photography, I get thirsty, and so I need to be able to take some water with me. Then third, I needed it to be able to carry a tripod. If I want to take a long exposure or something, I'm really going to want to have my camera on a tripod, and I needed a way to attach that to the outside of the bag. Fourth, I wanted to be able to carry snacks or a rain jacket, something like that. If I get hungry, if it starts raining, you want to stay dry. Fifth, this is a pretty important one, is I wanted it not to be uncomfortable. My previous camera bag was actually very uncomfortable when I hiked very long, and so I wanted something more comfortable than that. Sixth, I wanted it to be waterproof. I don't have very good luck with the weather. I get rained on a lot, and so that's pretty important to me. And then seventh, I did want it to preferably be under $200 because I don't have infinite money to spend on a bag. And I feel like this was a bit of a tall order to get all of these things, but this bag actually does meet all of those needs. So let's get into what exactly this bag has. Alright, so first of all, we've got the camera storage space, which is actually accessible from the back of this bag. That's a little bit different than a lot of bags, but that's why this is called the Flipside. And so what that does is it keeps your camera gear safe. If you're in kind of a dangerous area, nobody would be able to open up this compartment while the bag is on your back. It'd be against your back. Another thing is, if you want to sit your bag down and get your camera out, you're actually putting the front side of the bag against the dirty ground, and so the back side that's against your clothes is staying nice and clean. And then the third thing is, when you have the all-weather cover on this bag, you're actually still able to get into this camera compartment if you wanted to do that. Um, Now, another thing about this is kind of their signature feature, is that it lets you actually use these straps to twist the bag around in front of you and open up this camera compartment without sitting the bag down on the ground. I'll show you how to do that. Personally, that's not something that I really do a lot. I think it's kind of easier just to sit the bag down. But if you were, standing someplace that was really wet or something and didn't want to put the bag down, that could be a good option for you. Now, this camera space is extremely customizable. There's a whole bunch of dividers in here. I've actually taken several of these out. This center divider can come out and be moved around in different ways. All of these can be moved around in different ways. There's actually a way that if you wanted to, you could take out the top of this compartment and then take all these dividers out and just have it be sort of one big bag with the camera space and the top space that I'll show you in a second. Could be one open area if for some reason you needed that as well. Alright, so next up, I needed a place to carry the water. Now, personally, I'm a water bottle guy. I've not ever really owned a water bladder. I know a lot of people like those. I just personally haven't given that a try. But I wanted some place to carry a water bottle, and this bag does have two, actually, mesh pockets, one on each side of the bag. They're identical, they're very stretchy. You can put whatever water bottle you want in there, and you can even get a large thermos like this down in there. Just pull it out and it'll fit down in there like that as well. So if you want a hot drink, if you want a cold drink, if you want two drinks, you can fit that in there. The next thing is I wanted a place to put my tripod, and these clips, which I've actually got unclipped right now because I just had the tripod on here earlier, enable me to clip my tripod on the front of the bag like this, and it just fits right down through there. That works well for me, but there's also clips on the side here if you wanted to clip it on the side. If you wanted to stick it in the mesh pocket, there's clips on both sides. There's loops on the top if you wanted to loop something on, or there's a couple of small loops on the bottom if you wanted to tie something on the bottom as well. So there's, maybe not tons of straps on there if you're somebody who's into like Molly or something like that, but there's certainly options to be able to attach things to the outside of the bag, like your tripod. Now, if you're going to be out in the woods hiking, you probably want some snacks, a rain jacket, things like that. Gloves, whatever makes you comfortable while you're out there. And so I wanted a space like that for my camera bag. And right in the top of this bag, right here, there's kind of a medium-sized space right in the top of the bag that lets you throw whatever you want down in there. And, so I'll put a first aid kit in there, I'll put some snacks in there, whatever. And, you can put a jacket in there. One thing I do kind of wish that this section was just a little bit bigger. I think I could get a lunch in there, or I could get a rain jacket in there, but I don't think I could get both a lunch and a jacket in there. But a lot of bags that are on the market today don't offer that kind of a space at all. They really just only offer space for your camera gear. So, I'll take what I can get. And then on the front of the bag here, there's a space for some small electronics or something. So, I'll put like a memory card reader or something in there. And there's this padded tablet pouch that's a very secure way to carry your tablet, even out in, hiking or something. And that'll fit a 10-inch tablet. The 11-inch iPad Pro will fit in there. It's a bit tight, but it'll fit in. I wouldn't put anything bigger than that in there. I don't think it would fit. It's not for large tablets, but if you've got a small tablet, you can put that in there. You could clip your keys on this little loop that's in here. That sort of thing. Small stuff can go in there. Now, when you're going out and hiking to do landscape photography, you really want your bag to be really comfortable. And so that's actually why I got this bag, because my last bag was a shoulder bag that went over one shoulder, and it just held my camera gear, and it got very, very heavy. It was actually extremely uncomfortable after hiking more than a mile or two. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to be serious about landscape photography, I've got to get something that's not hurting my back every time I go out. And this bag has, of course, 2 padded shoulder straps. It's got this nice padded waist belt that straps across your waist, and it's got this nice chest strap. And that helps keep all of your stuff really secure on your back, even if, you've got a bunch of heavy stuff in here. I actually just hiked a good ways this morning with this bag, and it's pretty comfortable. It doesn't really get too heavy. Now these back panels are also sort of corrugated, which should allow some airflow through the back of the pack. I haven't gotten to try it out in the summertime yet to see. I'm sure your back will still probably get hot because there's a bag up against it. But I think that should help keep it from getting quite as uncomfortable on those hot summer days. The next thing that I wanted from a bag is to be waterproof. Where I live, it tends to rain a lot. I think we actually get something like 40 inches a year of rain. And so it's fairly common when I'm out for it to rain on me. And this bag has an all-weather cover that's actually zipped in right here to the back of the bag. And this is where the AW in the name of the bag comes from. You can pull this out and just stretch it over the entire bag, and that's completely waterproof, and then you don't have to worry about your gear getting rained on. Now this takes slightly more effort than if the bag itself were just waterproof, because you've got to stop, you've got to take your bag off and stretch it over the bag. The advantage of that though is that if the bag were waterproof, water would tend to get around these zippers and so forth and get into the bag that way. I've definitely had bags where that was a major shortcoming, and so with this you really don't have to worry about that happening. So that's a very big helpful feature to protect your gear, and you don't have to worry about forgetting to take it with you, because it fits right there in the top, zips up in there, it's always there, and that's really good for peace of mind while you're out. Alright, so finally, the price of the bag. This bag cost me $130 to get on Amazon, which I realize does sound like kind of a lot, but camera bags are really expensive, especially to get a really high quality bag. So this is actually probably on the lower end of that. It's fairly inexpensive as far as good camera bags go. And so that's, a pretty good deal, at least in my opinion. This is a really nice bag. So that's going to be it for this video. I really like this camera bag. It's exactly what I was looking for. It holds all my gear really well. So, obviously you should get a bag that meets your needs, but if this is kind of the need that you have had, then I would definitely encourage you to check out this bag. Lowepro was founded by some adventurers, and you really see that come out in the design of their camera bags, and that they have room not only for your camera but also for the stuff that you're gonna need while you're outside having an adventure to get those pictures. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out this bag in the link below if you're interested, and I will see you all in the next video.